Good afternoon, fellow Ugandans and members of international community. I am known by the names Aroma Patrick, presidential aspirant 2026-2030. Fellow Ugandans, I am continuing with my series on corruption. Today I want to show you how the NRM lost the battle against corruption. How NRM lost the war against corruption. Remember earlier I had informed you that when NRM shot its way to power in 1986, they came up with a 10-point program. And point number 7 was elimination of all forms of corruption and abuse of power. But as it turned out today, Uganda is the most corrupt country in Africa. Corruption has penetrated the grassroots of our society within Uganda. And you ask yourself, why? The greed of resources by government leaders has completely destroyed the confidence in our governance system within Uganda, because it has perpetuated corruption. So, ladies and gentlemen, the billions and trillions that has been stolen between 1986 up to date, it is unbelievable. The grand government theft by the leaders. If I'm to provide all those figures from 1986 up to date, because they are available, it is shocking. The giveaway land bonanza, the cash bonanza that has been given out in this country through corruption is unexplainable. So what has been our problem? Why is it that corruption has so much perpetuated in our country? Number 1, leadership. The commitment of leaders to fight corruption. I remember very well, President MUSEVENI committed himself to fight HIV/AIDS in Uganda. He moved all over the country. I was even still a young person in senior 1. I remember President MUSEVENI coming to Lira to preach about HIV/AIDS, telling us that as young people to avoid pushing our hands into the hole of the anthill. And the message sank. That one saved Uganda. If you looked at the vigorous way how President MUSEVENI and NRM fought Corona during Corona period, Ugandans were being updated. But now you question yourself, how comes the same vigor that was used to preach against HIV/AIDS and Corona has not been applied on corruption? Why? And yet corruption is the most dangerous epidemic affecting Uganda. How? President MUSEVENI has not moved around the country preaching against corruption. At sub-counties, the way he preached against HIV, at district levels, at national levels. So there has been lack of commitment from the leadership of the NRM in fighting corruption. That's why corruption has thrived from 1986 up to date, despite NRM instituting the office of the IGG in 1986. Can you imagine that? Number 2, enforcement of the laws. Our problem is not the law. We have too many laws regulating corruption. In fact, including Uganda has assented to even international instrument in terms of fighting corruption. For example, Uganda has assented to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, 2003, the United Convention Against Transnational Crime, African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption, the New Partnership for African Development, the East African Community Treaty, the East African Community Protocol on Combating Corruption. Let me tell you people, these are international protocols. How about at the national level? The national level, we have too many laws. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda, 1995, the Penal Code Act, Cap 120, the Anti-Corruption Act, 2009, the Whistleblowers Protection Act, 2010, the Inspectorate of Government Act, the Leadership Code Act, the Public Finance Management Act, the National Audit Act, the Police Act, the Local Government Act, the Access to Information Act. Name it. Too many laws are available that can be used to fight corruption. But how comes these laws are not implemented? Number one, the laws goes with the institutional regulatory framework. Like the Police Act, which empowers the police as an institution to fight corruption. Unfortunately, the institutions which are supposed to fight corruption have been listed as the most corrupt. Like police has been consistently listed in this country as the most corrupt institution, and yet they are the one who are supposed to. The Criminal Investigation Department, CID, supposed to investigate and promote corrupt people, but it's not there. The other institution is the Inspectorate of Government. This is now a lame duck institution. They have not acted as per their mandate to curb corruption in this country. The Auditor General, of course, has been producing the reports and all that. Then also you have the Parliament, the Public Service Inspection Unit. Actually, let me come back to now Parliament. Parliament is supposed to play an oversight role in fighting corruption. Unfortunately, the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda has dented its image very seriously. Recently, the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda has been put on the spotlight because of the UK sanction against the Speaker and the action of the Parliamentary Commissioner awarding themselves what is called the Service Award. Service Award? They have even gone ahead to incorporate the office of the Auditor General. The Parliamentary Commissioner has suggested to the Auditor General that he too deserves the Service Award. What is the Service Award when you are being paid salary from the taxpayers? In fact, Parliament should redeem its image by censuring all these commissioners. And then also recycling people who have been censored in government. There are those ministers who were censored by Parliament long time ago, who have again been redeployed. Why? We are not supposed to worship corruption. Actually, the NRM government has surrendered itself to corruption. And this is a very, very worrying trend. It has completely lost the moral battle, legal battle, institutional battle, all the battles against corruption. The government has lost it under President MUSEVENI. So we call upon Ugandans, we call upon leaders at all levels to start talking against corruption aggressively, because it has really, really affected this country. The next phase, which I'm going to do, I'm going to now provide the alternative policies to corruption in Uganda. What should be done to now curb down corruption? What I will do as president in case I am elected into office. My policies on corruption and how I'm going to really implement them. I will let the people know. And in the same spirit, I'm going to call upon all the presidential aspirants to come up and start talking about corruption in rallies to the communities, to teach people the dangers of corruption. Because I have critically examined all the NRM mechanism of fighting corruption, and they are really lacking, including what they have listed in their manifesto 2021-2026. I even encourage other leaders, please read the documents which is governing our country so that you can come up with the alternatives. So on Thursday or Friday, I'm going to provide a comprehensive alternative policies for fighting corruption in Uganda. Otherwise, the level where corruption has reached in Uganda, the impunity at which leaders practice corruption in Uganda, the kleptocracy of corruption in Uganda, it is beyond. So there must be a way forward, and the way forward will come through the young leaders. For us, we are now the young people who have seen the dangers of these vices, who are trying to create the alternatives. President Museveni became president at the age of 43. I'm now 48 years. This is the right age of implementing reforms to make sure that things work. Even Obama became president of America at the age of about 47 years. The first time when Obama contested, and you saw what he did, the reforms which Obama brought in. Check what President Ruto is doing in Kenya, the young president. So it is the focused young presidential candidates who are going to institute good reforms to put this country on a path of prosperity. Otherwise, the generation of 1986 who captured power have lost it all. They have lost it. They can no longer reform and bring comprehensive changes in terms of fighting corruption in Uganda. They should give way to young people. I say all this for God and my country. Amen.